Hey, Mission
Hello.
Pro fans! Hello! Welcome to On a Mission. Happy Tuesday! It's a new week, and we are coming out of all the madness, all of the wildness that was this weekend of Edge of Glory, and it was glorious for sure. I'm Emily May. I have Veda with me, and we're going to break down all of the action. How are you, Veda? I know you've
I'm
had.
good. I was bummed that I had to miss Edge of Glory live, but I did get to watch it yesterday, so I'm excited to talk about it.
We are so excited. So I know there's lots of people in the chat. So share this. Have people. We want the Nation's Corner. I know you were had a whole crew watching the show live on Saturday. So we're gonna break down all the action. Maybe some behind the scenes talk. Who knows? Who knows what happens on a mission? Good evening, Brent. We have Ryan. Nation's Corner, a huge sponsor of Edge of Glory. Thank you all so much for your support. Always appreciate that. Yeah, Brent, Edge of Glory getting all kind of praise. It was such a fantastic show. I am so glad to hear that. I know social media has been so incredibly just still talking about it, even on a Tuesday. People keep tagging that they've been rewatching the replay on Title Match and really getting into it. Front row, good evening to you. What an amazing show. It really was. Even my cat wants to come and talk about it. It was so much fun. We had amazing sponsors that helped make it happen, and amazing hybrid school of wrestling. We had just so much. It was truly a team effort. We couldn't have done it without everyone that helped do everything. So it was really amazing. As a reminder, I'm gonna talk about this right now. We officially announced our June show, which is True Colors, June
Yep, and
10th.
you can see the poster there. There's some new faces, some returning faces. So that's already, I know, getting a lot of people really hyped up.
Yeah, it's getting really it's going to be here before we know it. And this is an amazing poster. I do have to say myself, this is a really fun poster. I'm loving it, especially for June. I love it. So we have such an amazing, so you guys watch, follow, like, subscribe to all of Mission Pro Social, because those match announcements are coming. But if you just look at the poster, you know it's going to be another banger of a show. But we are here to talk about Edge of Glory.
Yep.
And I'm excited to break it down. And as a reminder, speaking of June, I'm going backwards, but June, we do have sponsorships are open already for talent, for the show itself. So get into your emails and email missionprowrestling@gmail.com, and you can be a sponsor for True Colors. And look at those
Oh,
graphics. Those graphics
yeah.
are amazing.
And just real quick, guys, we're assuming that everyone in the chat has seen the show already. But if for some reason you're catching this later on a replay and you're trying to catch up with Mission Pro, obviously as we go over the show, we're going to be doing spoilers. We're going to be talking about what happened. So if for some reason you haven't caught Edge of Glory yet, go watch that on Title Match Network and then come back for our recap.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Veda, for the reminder. We do. I need like a big warning splashed across the screen. So there are spoilers. We are going to break down winners, losers. Well, there's no losers because you're on a Mission Pro show, but all the winners.
I don't know. I
And,
would say there were some losers on the show.
there were some losers, but I positive spin, Veda, positive spin. And we're going to just break down all these surprising moments, and we want to know as we go through these matches if it was a surprising results for you, or what is your match of the night. We're going to have a vote at the end of the episode. We want everyone to let us know. So yeah, let's break it down. We're gonna jump into the pre-show match. This was Max Heights versus Casey Blackrose, the holder, as we've talked about, of the Mission Pro Cup. And this was, Max is bringing some high-flying action, and Casey, as the holder of the Mission Pro Cup, has a lot riding on this, and he's definitely there was definitely some major explosive offensive moves in this match. But Veda, what were your thoughts on this, and everyone in the chat, before we give away obviously the results? What was this to kind of kick off that pre-show?
Well, I think if I remember right, everyone in the chat was kind of really speculating about would Casey Blackrose hold on to the cup and thus keep that win streak going. And we were talking about how, like, the longer and longer win streak gets, the more incentive there is to finally beat you. And could Max Heights, use that as motivation. I feel like for a lot of the match, this was pretty evenly contested. But if we want to get into it, it was Casey Blackrose who's still holding on to that win streak, still holding on to the cup. And in watching this, was doing a little bit more research on Casey Blackrose. Pretty crazy. He hasn't been wrestling all that long. He really hasn't, and is now just taking on absolutely everyone as the holder of the cup. But yeah, so y'all were right that the streak continues and Casey holds on to the cup.
Yeah, so he held on to the cup. As Brent said, this was a great match. Blackrose is amazing, and he is kind of a star and leader at Hybrid School of Wrestling. He comes out of that school. He helps train. I've seen him lead, even at such a young age and kind of new and newer in his career. He still teaches some of the young wrestlers coming in and coaches and starts working within Hybrid and all of that. I've seen him as a leader, so you can definitely see that he's not only taking charge inside but outside of the ring. Mongrovian Mike has a question to pose. When is Blackrose dropping that cup to the Men's Revolution? Never, Mongrovian Mike.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that was even like on the table.
That's not even on the table. Yeah. As MV Rodriguez says, Blackrose is better than Men's Revolution.
Well, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I think Men's Revolution has other concerns that they need to focus on right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Men's Revolution, we'll get to it, but has a lot to focus on right now, especially leading into the June show. And Brian, you will be happy to know that I have security outside my house, outside my door, and they are manning the station so we don't have any break-ins. So we're
sorry for all my sniffling, as we were talking about before the show started. My allergies are really bad, and it's very nice the past couple of days where I live. So everyone's outside, there's a lot of pollen, everyone's mowing their lawns. It's a bad time for Veda.
Well, we'll try to. You got to do that nasal, get those sinuses cleared soon. No, there's no Brian bombs in Emily's house. No, we're not doing that. No, we're staying clear of Emily's house tonight. Maybe Blackrose is the Men's Revolution. Interesting theory.
Well, it's a slightly better representation, at least in terms of not interfering in all the other matches on the show, not making himself first and foremost, all of that.
He's being a team player, He obviously is focusing on holding that Mission Pro Cup. So
yeah. So yeah, we'll try to keep Men's Revolution out of that whole situation. But that Mission Pro Cup was far from the only thing being defended at Edge of Glory. We didn't just have the cup, we didn't just have Mission Pro championships, we also had championships from other wrestling promotions, including the RCW Phoenix Championship. That match was up next.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We had as you said, the RCW Phoenix Championship being defended. Vanity, the title holder, defending it against Alejandro Lyon, a former champion. And we saw, a change in the title on Saturday. And this was, not sure if this was, if RCW fans were thinking this would happen. But, Alejandro Lyon, again, she brings the kind of that dirty advantage. She brings those claws out. She always brings them out. And this was her moment to really kind of get back in that title race again.
Oh, and we also have Tony Justice super chatting to keep Boss Baines out of your house today.
Thank you, Tony. That is going towards Emily's security fund. So I appreciate that. We definitely don't want any break-ins tonight. I am getting Boss Baines is, I don't know if he's going to jump into the chat or not, but hopefully he doesn't jump into the house.
But yeah, so we had talked to Vanity. We talked to Vanity about a bunch of a variety of things. But the number one message that she wanted to emphasize coming into Edge of Glory was that this was a re-debut for her. And by the time that she was ready to appear for Edge of Glory, she also was the RCW Phoenix champion. So she not only was re-debuting, but she's also defending this title against Alejandro Lyon, who is very familiar to Mission Pro fans. And yes, Vanity did lose the title to Alejandra,
She did.
but I think even in that loss really, really demonstrated that this is a whole new wrestler. Like, she proved her point even if she couldn't hold on to the title, and I think that was really important.
Yeah, I mean, she really, even though Vanity lost the title, she definitely proved a point. Like you said, as we talked to her on a mission, she really wanted to showcase that she is this new person. She's had this evolution, this journey as a wrestler, and she brought that. She brought this attitude and this presence that even though she obviously it was an uphill battle for her to keep this title, she really showed that she's in it for the long haul. But again, Alejandra was crowned, and she is now a two-time RCW Phoenix champion.
Yeah, and I think it also just goes to show that, anytime these titles are defended on Mission Pro events, even if it's not a Mission Pro Championship, like, that match is not a throwaway match. Like, big things can happen. So if you see, a title from one of your favorite promotions being defended at Mission Pro, like, you got to check it out because something could go down. And it definitely did at Edge of Glory because there's a new champion. Like I said, Alejandra, two-time champion, beat Vanity. And I don't think a lot of people saw that title change coming. I really don't.
No, I mean, we had a mixture of RCW fans there and a lot of fans from San Antonio, and this collaboration was really fun. We got a mixture of fans, and I don't think they saw it coming because Vanity was newly crowned. So
Yeah.
it was interesting that this title reign was so quick.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Vanity, now that she is really rediscovering herself, like, I'm sure she's going to be back to RCW trying to reclaim that title. And I'm sure she's going to be getting back to Mission Pro. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a question to what the future holds for some of our new Mission Pro stars, and that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
gets to this next match that was a part of the show. And these are two crowd favorites, two Texas favorites, two Mission Pro favorites. And we had Emmy Camacho versus Mia Friday, two wrestlers that are very familiar with each other, as we've talked about. And this was a super fast paced match. I think this was a surprising match for all of us watching, that both of these young wrestlers really showcase their talents
Yeah.
this on Saturday. Michael May always bringing out hashtag Emmy era, and this is definitely an Emmy era. You could see that not only with the crowd, but also just the presence and charisma that Emmy brings to the ring. So Veda and everyone in the chat, what did you think about this big match for two Mission Pro favorites?
Well, I was wondering where the crowd would settle in because we've talked about how Emmy Camacho is just on such a roll. She has become such a fan favorite at Mission Pro, and there was a lot of people there who were chanting for the Emmy era, who were definitely supporting her. But Mia Friday really had a lot of support too, and that I think made the match even more exciting because the crowd was pretty split, but not split in like an antagonistic way. They were split because they were supporting their favorite, but they were supporting both the wrestlers at once. So yeah, it was super fast paced. Obviously, they a lot of really quick reversals and counters. They definitely had it scouted out.
Yeah, some of these comments are pretty funny. Mia's mom was in the crowd and
Ah.
they got a Mamma Mia chant before the match. That's amazing. I do have to say, a little backstage story is that Emmy Camacho's family and Mia Friday's family are all so supportive. They were at the show. They helped set up their merchandise table. They help kind of make sure that they're okay. And I just love seeing that as someone's preparing for a match, you want like the least amount of like stuff in your head, right? And their
Yeah.
parents are so supportive, their family's so supportive, and I love to see that. So yes, Mia's family was there. We had Emmy Camacho's family, and it just was really special to see. As Front Row said, Emmy continues to level up every time we see her. That is true. She's had some amazing competitors here at Mission Pro, and every time, even though if she wins or loses, it's going to be a level up time for her. Mongrovian Mike Camacho Madness. Dig it. I think that needs to be on a shirt.
That seems like a shirt, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian said there was definitely a crowd split. That is true. We got two favorites battling, friends and fellow trainees battling it out with each other. Michael May says Emmy is 3-1 now. Only loss was the Woad. So those are
And
really good odds.
that's pretty significant because if you look at the Woad's record, pretty much just across professional wrestling, she is very, very dominant. I call a lot of her matches across all of Title Match Network, and she is, an extremely dominant wrestler. If that is your only loss in your current streak, I don't know. That's nothing to be ashamed about.
I mean, and the Woad is one of the biggest competitors and just tough competitors we've had at Mission Pro. So the fact that that's her only loss is really a statement,
Yeah.
All right. Other statements that were made this weekend is this next match. We had Tiffany versus Shay Carmichael. So again, we had Shay's making her debut. We've talked about that, and then Tiffany Nieves has made her statements at Mission Pro. She's been putting out some statements. It's always active. Tiffany's always active on social media, but we saw at the intermission of Edge of Glory, we saw kind of a little behind the scenes of who Tiffany was, what she has her eye on, who she has her eye on, and just we got to know her a little bit more. And Magrovi and Mike, Tiffany Nieves, La Princesa, is the real boss. You might have to ask Boss Baines if that's true. And so Shay had her debut. So Veda, what did you think about Shay's debut and how she worked with Tiffany?
Excuse me. Oh, I was so excited to see Shay in the ring up against Tiffany because, of course, we did interview her a little while ago, and we knew that she was training hard and really, really excited for this match. And I think you could see all of that training pay off. I mean, Tiffany Nieves, that is a tough draw to get for your debut. Tiffany is someone who is so talented and so established. But I think Shay did great. I think there were lots of moments where this could have gone the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Shay is going into this with lots of pressure on, it's always really overwhelming to debut at a new place, especially a show that's getting 5K plus viewers live, and they're very vocal on social media. And I love how Mission Pro fans are very supportive for those debut matches. And Front Row mentioned that Tiffany's intermission video really got me invested in her journey. And I think that's really special. Is we're trying to give these women a platform to tell their stories. And that's what's so important. And so you're going to see a lot more of that, a lot more behind the scenes of who these women are and where they're coming from and what they want from Mission Pro. And so we're going to see a lot more of that, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. And
I was super impressed by Shay. However, I think this was just another example of Tiffany Nieves just reestablishing herself. When you couple that with the video profile, it really just situated Tiffany as a threat and also just just a wrestler on the rise. So like Front Row said, it's just now is the time to get on board with Tiffany Nieves, and I think that that's kind of the feeling that everyone has.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to get on the Tiffany train. That's what I think. That's the message she's sending for all of us and all of her opponents. She even wants her opponents to, get on the Tiffany train.
And then another match happened that we barely have to talk about, but
I mean, I don't really want to talk about this. I have security outside my house, but
so Men's Revolution, they did show up. Unfortunately, and they took on King Bees, and we're just gonna. So I need to start with how this match ended.
Okay, let's
so
talk
the King
about
Bees lost by countout when Boss Baines, who was laid out at ringside, came creeping from underneath the ring and held down Danny's feet so she couldn't get back in. You couldn't blatantly cheating. Boss Baines, by the way, not in the match. Was just ringside.
Just on the outskirts of the ring. You know?
So
just enough to cause trouble.
And there was trouble for Men's Revolution throughout the match. Charity and Danny, they really brought it. And then, like,
I
it
mean,
just
they were
really,
aggressive. They did
yeah,
not. I mean, they are doing this for the larger picture, right? They are
for
fighting the
sure.
men's revolution. They have a large. It's not just for them to win this match, but it's for all women to win this
Oh,
match.
and it looks like Marks has cashed his Men's Revolution promotional check for the week
Excuse
because we have some
you.
super chats.
$2 for the men's revolution victory. Boo, we don't accept.
But this tag match, as frustrating as the ending was, I think really kind of got the ball rolling for more events that we're going to happen later in the night. Like,
Yeah,
it
it was
really just
just
got the
the
situation
starting
needed.
point.
Front row in here with 199 to Boo Marks.
Boo.
So
Yeah, everyone, we need to get Marks in New Mexico out of the chat. You got to super chat him out of here. I mean, let's talk about this. I mean, Danny B and Charity Kane, the King Bees fighting for a bigger cause, right? And they're super aggressive, but JP also had some moves where he's like distracting the ref with the chairs. And, of course, Boss Baines wants to get involved. And it just causes such tension in the room. And you could definitely, like, I don't know if you could feel it while watching Veda, but the tension in the Salvation Army Mission Corps was palpable. And you could see that the fans are upset, the
yeah.
fans are yelling, they were getting in people's faces, and it was really, really intense. Thank
Yeah,
you.
We got Sammy for the King Bees, and we got Ezra just booing Marks.
Yes.
But yeah, you could tell that this was super heated and that something else was going to happen. Like, there was going to be more to this story. And as it turned out, we didn't have to wait very long to find out what was going to happen next, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that because there's a
Oh
lot to.
no. Marks is super chatting more salt, pouring more salt in.
No, so all I see is super sticker. I can't see the emoji.
Yeah,
So
it's a salt shaker, yes.
Take your salt shaker out of here, Mark's in New Mexico. Yeah, boo.
But yeah,
Mark's, you're getting some boos.
After the chaos of that tag match, though, we had Dream Girl Ellie make her debut. Someone else that we talked to. Another match I was really looking forward to against Misty Marks, who, well, Emily, you could probably explain what happened.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think it's definitely, we got to talk to Mission Pro management because, as I was welcoming a Dream Girl Ellie to Mission Pro, which I do to all talent, and I make sure they're comfortable and I like to make sure they're, settling in before the show. Of course, Misty Marks wants to start something. And they got into a little scuffle ahead of the show, as you all saw on social media. And again, Misty is being disrespectful to not only the talent that have traveled far to get there, she's being disrespectful to Mission Pro management, to everyone that is working on the show to make it happen. And the disrespect continued in the ring. And I don't know if you want to talk about that. And
yeah.
She brought the ring because her aggression and her anger was very, very present.
These backstage attacks, like, they keep happening. Fortunately, this time Ellie was still able to compete, but I have to wonder, like, this match was awesome, but I have to wonder if Ellie would have been 100% healthy going into it, what could have happened. Because,
I mean, and that's the thing, is like, we had Mission Pro security on standby. You saw that they broke them up. Luckily, they caught them in time so that Misty didn't do permanent damage like she did to Vicky Dreamboat. And so, this is something we're gonna have to consider moving on, is like, how is Misty, wrapped into this Mission Pro worlds if she keeps disrespecting and being really aggressive towards the talent? We understand her statements. She wants, to make a statement in San Antonio and Texas, but she has to do it in a better way. She has to keep it in the ring, keep it to that moment.
Well, and like, part of the most fun part about Mission Pro is when Mission Pro brings in this elite level talent from all over to compete in Texas. So that's not going to stop. That's not going to change just because Misty Marks thinks that all the attention should be on her. Like, you saw the poster for the next event. There are a lot of debuts coming. There's a lot of girls coming from all around looking to make a mark, no pun intended. And just because Misty thinks that, like, somehow this should be all about her. Like, that's not gonna happen. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
it's
know. I was proud of Ellie for just continuing to fight and not, like, not taking a stand against that bullying.
yeah, I mean, we saw that, obviously, we all saw that Misty got this win. She used her aggression and kind of the upper hand to take Dream Girl Ellie down. But as you said, Dream Girl Ellie really did an incredible job standing up to Misty. It's such a brave thing to do when she has to stand up to someone that already, wants to stab her in the back. MV Rodriguez says, would love to see Dream Girl Ellie back for a rematch. I
Yeah.
think Dream Girl Ellie deserves some type of rematch, some type of you know, just to make up for what happened.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the chat saying that they hope Ellie comes back because, again, despite all of this nonsense, she was super, super impressive in her debut, just showed how intense she can be. And I would not be shocked to see her back sooner rather than later. Because yeah, there's a lot of she really made a lot of fans.
Yeah, she made a lot of
Misty Marks
fans.
not being one of them, but
Yeah, Misty Marks is not a fan of anyone except herself. So
And it's frustrating because when you watch Misty in the ring, she's tough, she's great, she's talented.
hmm
She could, prove the point that she wants to prove without the backstage attacks and without the, like, cutting corners in the ring. She could do all of that.
exactly. She could do it in the right way. And lately she has not been doing it in the right way.
But yeah,
So let's
then
talk about other things that kind of went awry and things that didn't quite
yeah, yeah.
didn't quite stay in the ring. We're getting to the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championship
Oh
is
boy.
next, and this was just a lot going on, right? We had Bougie Reality versus the Money Birds, and there was a lot of crowd discussion and chanting. We had Money Birds on one side, Bougie Reality on another, but there were some things that happened. We had
Yeah.
the Men's Revolution come out and sit to taunt them, I guess, to just kind of be there. And then we also had the King Bees come out, and this is like when the chaos ensued. And so Veda, from someone, so like I experienced it live,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of people in the chat that experienced it live in person. What was it like watching at home? What was your reaction?
Well, so first of all, I was just so invested in the tag title match with the Money Birds, really coming close. And there were a lot of moments where, like, it seemed like we could have a title change. It seemed like the Money Birds were really getting it together, but at the same time, Bougie Reality they just are what they are. And I feel like every single time I see them in the ring, they're just a little bit more polished, a little bit more cohesive. And, it was a great match. And then Men's Revolution show up. Oh, hold on. We got Brian with a super chat reminding us that Thunder don't like working with children.
Thunder don't. Yeah, this was a
Yeah,
big. I mean, we'll get to that big moment. Thunder definitely was not having this whole,
yeah. So
immature chaos.
as MV Rodriguez says, the match was great. And then, like, we didn't even get a conclusion to it, which,
Yeah,
first of all, is not fair to Lady Bird and Gigi Ray
no, because
because this
they
was
were
an
put all their
opportunity they
stops.
earned. Yeah, and this is an opportunity they earned. And not saying that they would have won or not won for sure. Like, I can't say that, but they didn't even get the opportunity to find out. And if
Exactly.
least if they would have lost fairly, like if they would have lost by pinfall or submission, I'm sure that they would have just gathered themselves and gotten ready to try again another time. But we
And
didn't
this,
even get that.
like Veda, I can't even explain the anger that the crowd had. The fact that the Moneybirds did not get a chance to finish their match. It
Yes.
was like they were yelling. There was fans that like threw chairs, moved them out of the way. Was just they were so mad at the Men's Revolution and everything that was going on. It was chaos. It was true chaos. And of course, Thunder has to come in as the voice of reason to try to,
Yeah.
stifle all this childhood behavior,
Well, because then of course
childish
after
behavior.
after Men's Revolution interfere, King Bees, they come back out to get a little bit of revenge, and I think also to just even the odds and just try to get rid of Men's Revolution so this match could potentially continue. But it just all just sort of turned into a one massive just moment of chaos. And then, yeah, Thunder Rosa had to show up. And, like, first of all, you can sense the frustration, obviously, with Men's Revolution. But Thunder kind of like went even a little bit further than that because this is impacting all of Mission Pro, this like ongoing war.
Yeah.
Because Men's Revolution clearly still have a very personal issue specifically with Bougie Reality. Like they clearly are still targeting them. I know they say they're coming for all of Mission Pro, but definitely Maddie and Riche are definitely still targets for them. And if that means that like they're gonna keep ruining these tag title matches and we're not gonna have conclusive matches, we're gonna have, people like the Moneybirds who are working so hard just be disappointed. Like that doesn't work for anybody.
No,
It's
and they're
bigger
not
than
playing
just this.
fair. Yeah, I mean, they're not playing fair, and they keep interrupting. They just keep interrupting what we're all fighting for, which is women to have this platform to have their matches. So the fact that the Moneybirds couldn't finish, Danny and Charity, had an issue with their match. Like it's just not fair. So there's like a larger issue and like thing that everyone is fighting for.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Thunder finally just had to say, like, everybody just needs to get it together.
yeah, like
And
R.A. Davis said, yeah, Thunder had to be the adult in the room.
yeah. And like focus on what is important and just stop with all of this. And so yeah, I mean, that was a
So
huge moment.
it was a huge moment. Like obviously, a big brawl, breaks out with all four of these tag teams, and this was a really big deal. I mean, this like we don't have big brawls like this happen that often at Mission Pro. So because tensions have been rose all night, right? It led to this moment. Thunder Rose had to come out, and she announced that on the June show, she wanted to see what all four of these tag teams had and for them to do it in the right way. And so she did announce that there would be a four-way tag title match on June 10th at True Colors. And that was a huge announcement. And this is going to be a really kind of interesting, four-way because all of these four tag teams have a lot to offer to Mission Pro as a whole and have a lot riding on this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure when we start to as we start to move closer to June, we'll lay out all the possible scenarios. But to me, the main thing is if Men's Revolution is going to be in this four-way tag match and like they say all of the like they talk this big talk, like this is the time that they can prove what they're about or they could just shut up at this point. Because like now they have this opportunity, they're back in the tag title picture. They have what I guess they were fighting for, but if they can't deliver, then they have like I don't know. I have faith that this match will go in a direction that is positive for Mission Pro. I am a little bit concerned about Bougie Reality only because a four-way match like that is not necessarily advantageous to the champions, but they have been fighting champions this whole time.
They
So,
are fighting champions. They've been through, street fights. They've been through lots of different types of matches. So I think they're up for the challenge. But I think all four teams are going to have to step up their game, and we'll
all
we'll
right.
break it down as it gets closer. True
Uh,
Colors is shaping up to be an incredible show.
well, we have a couple different suggestions for where Boss Baines could be
Oh,
restrained during this match. Uh, in a cage above the ring. Can we get Boss Baines? MV Rodriguez
hmm.
wants to know, can we get Boss Baines handcuffed to the front doors for this match? I would assume like on the outside.
On the outside, yeah. Put Boss Baines in a cage above the ring. Okay. This is
Neil Benedict says that this match might be enough to just motivate making the trip. And as you saw, we don't have the rest of the matches announced yet, but if you just look at the poster, you can see there's a couple of really exciting new faces coming in and a bunch of people who are going to be back that I know you're going to be really happy to see. So I would say, yeah, make the trip down.
yeah, make the trip. It's going to be again at the Salvation Army Mission Corps in San Antonio, front row. I think we need to be there live for this one. San Antonio, here we come. So people
Woohoo.
are already getting their tickets. People are already heading down. Um, So it is going to be a really exciting show. And again, follow Mission Pro socials because that is where you're going to hear and see all of those match announcements. But we still, even though after the chaos of what happened with these tag teams, we still had a main event.
Oh, and we got Tony Justice with a super chat too. Again, just hyping up True Colors.
Love it. True colors shining through. I love how you got our reference.
All right. So, yes, the
Let's
main
talk
event.
about the main event again. We had the championship, the Mission Pro Championship on the line. We had Hyan making her debut. We've talked a lot about her the last few weeks, and this was her moment. Genocide returning to defend that title. And I want everyone to kind of let us know what you thought about this match. Veda, what was your, I mean, after this was a hard spot to be in because they had to go in after the chaos of Thunder coming out, trying to calm the chaos.
Yeah, I was concerned that we wouldn't even be able to get the show back on track enough to even have a main event. But, you know, true to form, Genocide was super focused on defending her title. And you got to imagine that Hyan, like, I know, you know, you got in the locker room, she would know what was going on with the men's revolution of the tag stuff. Like you could, I'm sure, hear what's going on, but she is so focused and so cerebral as a wrestler. I have a feeling that she just sort of like let that go in one ear and out the other and just stayed focused on her main event.
Yeah, I mean, both were very determined. I do have to give a shout out to Clint C, who drove 17 hours for Edge of Glory. He came to the VIP experience, got an awesome photo. So thank you. That is true dedication to Mission Pro. I know all the wrestlers appreciated it and loved seeing you at the show. Yeah, Marks in New Mexico said, Hyan really impressed me going toe-to-toe with Genocide. That is true. I mean, we had two very different styles. We had a little strong style, and then Genocide, you know, being really such a power performer, really trying to defend that title. MV Rodriguez, Hyan was a problem, but Genocide pulled it out in the end. And I do have to say, Brent mentioned the entrance with the kids. And this was such a special moment. So I had to be the wrangler of all of these kids. And I loved how we got to give them Genocide t-shirts and they got to wear them. And they were so excited to be a part of this. And it just, we had our little WrestleMania moment where all those kids were coming out in the entrance and it made their night and their parents were so happy. And that's what we like to do is like make those special moments because those kids are going to remember that forever.
So Front Row is saying that the match lived up to the hype and it was a super physical match. And that to me is the biggest thing that I took away from the main event is that we were here live when that match got made. And Hyan said that she was calling out Jenna, that she wanted her title match and that she wanted to main event in her Mission Pro debut. And, you know, even though she didn't win the title, she came super close so many times. And I think that she 100% lived up to every word that she said. Like she earned that main event and like confirmed to everybody what a star she is just through that one match.
Yeah, and I love how Hyan found those openings to really kind of find the openings that Genocide might have been, you know, missing, where Jen's very technical, but Hyan knew where to go, what to focus on, what to try to target. And that was, you could really see kind of that technical side of Hyan. And I loved how like she used her scepter as a distraction and really kind of integrated that into the match. And again, Genocide is always kind of innovative and always rethinking and even as a champion she's always improving, and I think that shows the power of, even though you're champion, you're still have to, you know, you're going to be going against opponents from all over the world, so you have to find different ways to be aggressive, to be technical, to be strategic, and she definitely showed that in the main event match.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about her that sometimes as like title reigns go on and as people, you know, establish themselves more and more, you'll see that maybe they approach their matches, maybe not taking their challengers as seriously, especially when it's someone who's new to Mission Pro like Hyan. They hadn't wrestled in many years. You know, maybe she's not been keeping up, but you could tell right from the opening bell that this match was that Hayam was a challenger, that Genocide was taking her seriously, and that this was going to be hard hitting right from the beginning. And so I
Definitely.
don't know. That just shows how much Jenna, respects the Mission Pro title and respects the Mission Pro fans and how seriously she takes being a champion.
Yeah, I mean, she does, she talks about what her why is, and those kids are her why. The community of Mission Pro, the fans of Mission Pro, that's her why. She trains and works at it every single day. And so Jen really, Genocide really tries to make it really special every match and every show. So it's really amazing to see, and we're happy to and proud to have her as a Mission Pro champion.
But yeah, overall, like a big, big show for uh debuts. I think everybody who was having their first matches or their first matches in a while were impressed. A bunch of title matches. And then, of course, now we know that in June with this four-way tag match, like finally Men's Revolution, you have to imagine like this is not 2-on-2, or I guess we should say 3-on-2 because that's how these matches go. But in this situation, Mission Pro has the backup. There's going to be 3 teams going up against Men's Revolution with the
Hmm.
titles on the line. So I don't know. That seems like that's going to be very intense.
It's gonna be very intense. I'm sure we're gonna hear more and break that down more as it gets closer. But I want everyone in the chat to let me know, what match was your match of the night? What did you
Yes,
think?
please.
And Veda, I want to know yours as well, if you can decide. If not, that's okay. But everyone in the chat, let us know what your match of the night was, because there was definitely a lot to choose from, and it's definitely a really hard choice. Putting
Yes.
everyone on the spot.
So for me, I was really digging the tag title match until Men's Revolution showed up, which is
Hmm.
part of why I was so disappointed that that even happened, because I was just the Money Birds were on fire. They were really keeping it together. But like I said, every single time Bougie Reality defends those titles or is even just in the ring together at all, they're even better as a team. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was probably gonna be my match of the night until Men's
Until
Revolution
Men's
showed up.
Revolution. Yeah. So
I
in
also
oh,
yeah,
sorry, go
and
ahead.
I was saying, I for me though, I would say the main event. I mean, I think that makes sense. Like it was a main event that delivered on being a main event. Like we talk about matches that steal the show, and that's always great. We had a lot of matches that were awesome, but I think in this situation, the main event truly lived up to all the hype.
And it had to kind of go against all the chaos that happened right
Yeah,
before it, and it
yeah,
still delivered. I looking at the chat, we have the tag title match. Despite the ending, Brent Ross says Genocide versus Hayan. Front row again. The tag title match was my match of the night. Michael May throwing in Emmy Camacho versus Mia
that was great
Friday.
too.
That was a really great one. See, it's hard to decide. Mark's in New Mexico, of course, going for the tag team title match. I'm sure he loved that ending. Yeah, Brian saying I was really impressed with the Money Birds. That's true. Lots of fans were talking about the Money Birds after
Yeah,
that. The main event was awesome, really hard hitting. And then Raul Rodriguez Jr. says Alejandro Lyon match was my favorite. So it's really hard to decide. I love how
that's pretty
Mission
much
Pro,
yeah. That was pretty much every single match
yeah,
someone had as a favorite.
Mission Pro has kind of a match for everyone. I feel like we're dishing it out so we get a match that everyone would like.
Yeah, like I said, I can't choose either the tag title match before the Men's Revolution interference or the main event, but I will say the way that that tag title match was going did get me really hyped for June,
Hmm.
because those two teams are going to be back in a ring together, with the added very combustible elements of Men's Revolution, and then we also have Danny and Charity in that match. So, I don't know, I'm glad the Money
Yeah.
Birds are getting another shot.
I mean, and Charity and Danny get another, the King Bees get another shot too. There's a lot of history there. There's a lot of animosity, a lot of friction, and it's going to be interesting how all those 4 teams happen.
Oh my gosh. Mike with the ultimate insult to Marks. Marks is just a side character in Maddie's world.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's
Wow.
Thank you. Outlaw was a good card from top to bottom. Can't go wrong with any match. That is true. So I know we gave tons of spoilers, but if you haven't watched the show, hopefully you did. Or if you want to rewatch it again and see everything go down, you can watch it on Title Match
My
Network.
Yeah, my suggestion would definitely be this is a show that has to be rewatched before True Colors
Yes,
because when well, first of all, we're gonna find out the rest of the card over the next couple weeks next few weeks as things start to come together. So I'm sure you're gonna want to revisit stuff, but like you need to see these 2 tag matches again to get ready for that 4-way tag.
definitely. And it looks like we have Casey Blackrose, the Mission Pro Cup winner, in the chat, just leaving
Oh
a
wow.
little reminder and still with his little black rose.
Well, yeah, we have to see who Casey's gonna defend the cup against next too.
Exactly, exactly. So we have lots of exciting matches that will be announced soon. So again, follow, like, subscribe to all of Mission Pro socials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because that's when we'll go live. We also have our show on Thursdays, Mission Pro Unmatched, where we break down the latest in women's wrestling and some of our matches from the Mission Pro Vault. So you don't want to miss that. And then again, you can join us on Tuesdays where we're going to start having some of the guests that will be on the June show. We'll be joining Veda and I for some interviews, for some conversations, so we can all get to know them before their debut or their, arrival in their match on True
Very
Colors.
excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. Thank you all so much. Reminder, tickets are on sale at missionprowrestling.com and go watch on Title Match Network because that's where all of our shows are. And we can't wait to put on another one for you. All
Bye,
right.
y'all.
Veda, where can people find you real quick?
Oh, at It's Veda Time, my Twitter, check out everything from there. And you'll also find my YouTube off of there and all my other content sites. But yeah, check me out on Twitter.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. You can follow me on all social platforms at Emily May Heller. Follow Mission Pro Wrestling. And thank you all so much for joining us for On a Mission. We'll see you next week.
Bye.